Anime fans, we finally get the Demon Slayer Mugen Train movie here in the US, and after it received rave reviews and crushed box office in Japan in 2020, it's taken the US by storm. We've had it for about 10 days here in the US now, and it's just past Mortal Kombat. Rave reviews, solid movie, continues a great anime series, got a few shortcomings, but let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at some of the story elements. So from a story standpoint, Mugen Train picks up right where the series leaves off. We got our main group of Tanjiro, Nezuko, Zenitsu, and Inosuke all boarding the train to help out Hashira Rengoku to hunt down some demons that have been killing people on this train. So a couple swordsmen have actually gone missing also. So they board the train, they meet up, and the story progresses pretty quickly after some introductions. And we encounter the demons we saw at the end of the final season, and they're dispatched pretty quickly. There's two demons there, and they take care of them, and it really shows off Rengoku's power. It's some pretty fantastic fight sequences, very similar to what you see in the anime. Get back to that in a second. But that's just a starter. There's another demon on the train, Enmu, puts everybody to sleep, feasts on their pain after giving them these beautiful dreams, manipulates a set of like sickly humans that they're trying to destroy the soul sphere of the now sleeping Slayers, and the story progresses at kind of a slow pace. But what it does is we get a nice look into Rengoku's background. Tanjiro's, like, there's some really heart-wrenching stuff in there. It's like, it's sad. He gets to see his family again, just to have him taken away. And the way he gets out of his dream state, in addition to his sister helping him out, it's kind of twisted. But again, it's part of the story. Now for Inosuke and Zenitsu, let's just say their minds are kind of what you probably thought they were going to be. It's kind of twisted. Anyways, we go through, that fight advances, fight ends, and you think, oh, okay, it's the end of the movie. Actually, the best part of the movie is right after this. So what we get is we get one of the Upper Moon 3 demons showing up. You know, one of the guys that reports to the Michael Jackson guy. And his name's Akaza, and I think he's number 3 on the list. But he shows up just before dawn, has a pretty freaking sweet fight with Rengoku, and if you ever doubt the power of some of these Demon Slayers, it really comes out in this fight. But it also kind of casts a shadow of doubt on, can we really take down these top 3? These are demons that have been around for a long time. So the fight progresses, ends at dawn, and I'm not going to spoil the ending. You know, it ends on a very Empire Strikes Back note, but it sets the stage for what's going to be coming up in the next Demon Slayer series, you know, the next season. And for that, you know, fans should be really happy. It was really well done. The pacing, there were some issues there, but let's take a look at the good and the bad of this movie. And while it's getting a ton of rave reviews, which is great, we'll get to that in a second. All right, so let's take a look at the good of the movie. Besides it continuing the story that fans love, we get just an epic, just well drawn out fight at the end with Akaza and Rengoku, and that's just worth the price of admission. What's a shame is it took quite a while to get there. The story elements, advancing characters, advancing the world, everything about like kind of the structure of the story worked really well. The voice cast is fantastic. I saw it in Japanese a couple times, and they just nail just the humor, the sadness, the emotion, everything about it's good. The music was good. You know, nothing really struck you, nothing really stood out. The theme song, you know, I have it on my phone, but it's all right. But overall, it's what you expect. You go into this movie, it's going to give you exactly what you expect. And ufotable, I can't say the name. I'll have to learn the name of the animation studio. Each special attack, all the breathing techniques, everything is what we expect. It's well done. It's humorous with just weird caricatures as they have like sudden emotions. And it's a lot of fun from start to finish. But I've got a couple gripes, and I'd like to know if some of y'all agree with these. Okay, so let's look at the bad. Don't buy into all the hype. Make a judgment for yourself. Go see the movie. But having watched a lot of anime movies based on series, one of the biggest shortcomings this has, well, the first one I'll point out is actually the pacing. So a lot of the speeches and the stories and segments, they just seem kind of drawn out. It does feel like, and it honestly is, a series of episodes that are just kind of like strung together for the fan. It could have been the first, let's say, 4 or 5 episodes of a new season. But instead, there's kind of it's a cash grab. You put this in the theaters, fans are going to go to it. It's already been proven. But the pacing, it's the build-up, they get onto the train, they encounter these couple demons, the fight with Enmu feels like it's just kind of drawn out. Like it's one of these video game boss fights where the boss just keeps advancing in his power and his forms, and it just takes a little longer than we'd want. There's also some issues with getting into the background of some of these characters. Like, it's great to find out about Rengoku, to find out about pieces of Tanjiro's father that are going to impact the next story arc, but it's uneven in how it's told because it just draws out. Some of the speeches, they just feel so long. It could have really been condensed down. And this comes to my main gripe with this is it's a series of episodes put together. This is not a theatrical release. When you take My Hero, for example, we know what we get from that series, typical shonen anime series. It's got good animation, but when they've had the Heroes Rising and the Two Heroes movies, you feel that epic quality. You feel that introduction to a movie that actually fits within the storyline. So they kind of show how it can be done. You get a better animation. You get just, same solid voice work, but a step up in the story. The pacing is much more made for what you get in a theater. And even Dragon Ball Z did this back years ago with their movies and some of their recent ones with Broly, to where the pacing is there. You feel the experience. It looks great on the big screen versus what Mugen Train delivers to us is, it's episodes on the big screen. Loved it, saw it twice, but just go in knowing that. It's getting, acclaim all over the place, but the animation, from what the studios pulled off before with what they've done with the Fate series, I mean, that's just a gorgeous series. This could have been so much more, and it's it's like taking a 10 out of a 10 and finding a little nitpick. I'm finding nitpicks, but this is legit to me. I want that theatrical experience. You're not necessarily going to get that as you go into this movie. But that being said, there's good, there's bad, but ultimately what it comes down to, you're a fan of Demon Slayer, you're going to dig this movie, you're going to go see it. But what's my overall impression of it? Let's take a look. All right, so I'm going to call this what it is. It was a cash grab. It was a series of episodes strung together, but it's still something that fans of the series, including myself, want to see. Yeah, I want a little more when I go into the movie theater, but at the same time, with what we've gone through with COVID and everything else, I will take this because it got us back in theaters. It's a fun experience. Yeah, there's times you're like, man, is this guy dying yet? Or is he going to keep giving a speech? Because they probably could have saved him by the time they finished the speech. But overall, it ends on a very Empire Strikes Back note, very kind of sad, down note. It sets the stage excellently for the next story arcs. And you really do get a sense of emotion from the way they make you learn about and really care for some of these characters. But at the end of the day, I'm not going to give ratings and stuff like that. I'm just going to say, if you're a fan of Demon Slayer, go see this movie. If you're curious about Demon Slayer as a series, go watch the series first, and then by then the series, the movie's going to be out on, download on demand or streaming or whatever, wherever it's going to come out. So fans, go see it. Non-fans, go watch the series first, then come back to it. It's a fun experience. Continues the story. You're not going to get greater animation than what we've already seen in the series. You're not going to get a greater storytelling than we've already seen in the series, but you will get an experience that you're going to enjoy. And I will watch this again and probably have the same opinion of it. But hey, that's all for now. This is Anime Otosan. I'm going to be back with some more information on other series and just enjoying anime as a whole. Thanks, everybody.